So first I want to thank Harvey and Harry Cat for actually setting this up for shooting classes to come in and be able to talk to you and tell you about a better way to manage and market your firearms training business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you who we are at shootingclasses.com. I'll go through why you should want to be a part of shootingclasses.com. We'll go through the platform, what's available to you. Then we'll talk about actually getting started on shooting classes. Then I'll go through day-to-day activities. Once you're on, once you've got your platform set up, things that you actually do day-to-day in running your business. Then we're going to talk about marketing a little bit, reaching and registering students. We'll show you what our fees are, and then hopefully we've got a little bit of time for questions and answers. So I'm going to try to squeeze this into about half hour's time. I'm going to be here probably till about 2 o'clock. I got a 7-hour drive to get home. Once I get home, get to bed, I got to get up in the morning, and I got another drive to do to be somewhere else. So definitely, though, any questions you have, if we don't get them in right after this, we'll be hanging around here, and I'll be here probably till close to 2 o'clock. All right, so thank you guys for coming. I really do appreciate you being here to hear about us. So who is shootingclasses.com? There's 4 of us. There's Bill, there's Israel, there's myself, and there's Boone. Our backgrounds, basically, we're a mixture of full and part-time instructors. We are civilian, we're former military, we're former law enforcement. Our backgrounds are in business, sales, marketing, and finance. So we bring a lot to it. But what we do have is one common passion, and that is helping others. And that's really what prompted us to start shootingclasses.com about 7 years ago that we've been doing this. So why use shootingclasses.com? It's really simple. We bring automation to the management side of your training business. It doesn't matter whether you're a part-time instructor or a full-time instructor. As a part-time instructor, As a part-time instructor, you probably have a full-time job, so you don't have a lot of time to spend on management. And quite honestly, managing your training business, if you're going to do it right, is time-consuming. So, what Shooting Classes does is we literally act as your personal assistant to manage, automate an awful lot of the functions and tasks that you go through today. Things like processing student registrations, handling payments, so that money, when a student registers, you approve a student, it goes directly into your bank account. Everything happens automatically. Once that happens, students get confirmation emails back. Tells them exactly what they registered for, what they paid, what the courses are, the details, everything about it goes out in an email automatically to the students. Create detailed rosters, and your roster is more than just a simple roster. It's very functional, and I'm going to show you that. Sending class reminders. So students get a class reminder 1 week before the class, full details about the class. They get a text message 24 hours before the class, reminder, hey, you got this class, so that hopefully people don't forget and not show up for classes. Sometimes you've got to reschedule a student, cancel a class. The automation is there so that you can do those things within 1-2 clicks, send an email out to the student, and it's all automated. Rosters get updated, all the reports get updated, everything happens automatically. Generating financial reports for you for tax purposes, ongoing communications, and more. There's a lot to Shooting Classes. Basically what we want to do is, you didn't get into being an instructor so you could do a bunch of paperwork and manage the business. You got in there because you enjoy training students. And that's what we want to do, is allow you to focus on training, not having to deal with tons of paperwork. So, in the words of an instructor on Shooting Classes, Royce Bartlett, who has the Shooting Straight radio show out of Orlando, says, continuing to run your training business without shootingclasses.com is like having a rotary telephone. It just doesn't make sense. We truly are going from that next evolution of doing everything with pencil and paper to using spreadsheets and Word documents, now to automation. So, our features, there's two components to shootingclasses.com. We give you your own personal multi-page website within Shooting Classes for you to market to students with, reach students, show them, tell them about yourself, your courses, your classes, and all that. Second component is your instructor dashboard. Hold on here. Your instructor dashboard, where you actually manage the business. You put all your information, all your courses, schedule your classes, see what's coming up. So we'll walk through those with you. Personal website. Again, it's a multi-page website that you have within Shooting Classes. It shows your business, your photo, your logo, your name, contact information, how long you've been instructing, phone number, contact instructor. This contact instructor button is nice because the student can go on there and click on it and send you a message. I'm interested in this, I'm interested in something else, and you just respond back on an email. So there's two ways that students get to your website. One is we have literally thousands of students that come to Shooting Classes every month to be able to see classes and instructors. We're in 46 states, DC, Puerto Rico, so we've got a wide reach. They come and they're doing searches by their zip code. I'm trying to find a class locally, nationwide. They come to your website. The other way is, and probably the more effective way for you, is we provide you with QR codes, URLs that take students exactly where you want them to go, and you use those in your marketing. And we'll talk about that as we get towards the end. On your website, you've got an area here which is just a message center. Anything you want to just put on there for students to be able to see, you put it on there. Students see available courses. All the courses that you've created are listed here. The ones that you have scheduled, they show by next available date. So students can see, yes, here's a course, here's the next date, the types that apply to it. There's more than 50 different types that you can assign to a course that that you teach in it. Okay. Next one down. Then any courses that you haven't currently scheduled, they then show in alphabetical order. But a student can see any one of these courses that you're not currently teaching, and over here it says contact instructor. They can now click on that, send you a message, say, hey, I see this course, I like the details, requirements, when are you going to be teaching it again? Again, you get the email, you respond back to the student. Okay, the next tab over though, for those students that are just coming to Shooting Classes and they've done a search and they've found you, but they don't know anything about you. They've got all these tabs that they can click on to see information about you. So they've got the About tab here. They click on that and they see all the information that you put in there that you want that student to know about you and your business. They see instructors. So if you've got multiple instructors that help you teach, you can put the instructor in there, you can put a photo in there, a brief bio, and when you assign one of those instructors to teach or help you teach a class, that instructor automatically gets a text message to let them know they've been assigned to this class. The next one over, certifications. You simply put in all your certifications so students can see your certifications. Next one over is policies. So you can put in there cancellation policies. If a student needs to cancel, if you need to cancel, what's your policies for that? Refund policies, things like that. Rescheduling policies. Let a student know this is what your policy is. Any other policies, classroom policies, range policies, put those in there. The next tab over is waiver. So students come to your class. You're going to give them a sheet of paper. This is the class waiver. They've got to read it. They've got to sign it. You put your waiver on here. Students have to, when they go to register, there's boxes there. I have read and agreed to Shooting Classes policies. I have read and agreed to the instructor's policies. I have read and agreed to the instructor's waiver. They have to check those boxes. If they want, they can click, and now boom, it's going to pop up and show up right there what it is. So we make it very easy for the student. but they have to do that to be able to register. Next one over is frequently asked questions. Put in as many frequently asked questions that you commonly see from students so they can see them. Next one over is reviews. Students give you a review, you can put your reviews on there, students get to see them. Next tab over is videos. You can put as many videos on that help promote you, promote your business, for students to be able to click on and see. Videos have to come from either YouTube or Rumble, but you just put the link in there and boom, it links it up. Okay. So, did I mention, you get auto-generated QR codes to take people to your website, auto-generated QR codes for every one of your courses, and auto-generated QR codes for every one of your registration pages. So depending upon where you want to go take a student, QR code, the URL for that, and boom, now they go directly to what you want them to do. So that's the website. Students select a course. They come back, they see it, they click on it, and now they can register for the course. They can see course information. So the next tab over is, on that page, they can see all scheduled classes for that course. So if you want to schedule just one class, you want to schedule a month's worth of classes, or a full year's worth of classes, you can do all that automatically. The student can now see all the dates, they can see the locations and where it's being taught at, the class size, the time, all the information, and over here it says availability, space available. They know that they can come back and click on the register now button and register for the class. If that class is full, that availability changes to class full, the register now button changed to wait list. Would you like to be placed on a wait list for the class? Message goes to the instructor. They click on the next tab over, course description. So now I can see all the information about the course. Here's the description. Here's all the topics that are covered in it. Expectations and outcomes, all the types that apply to it. Next tab over is requirements. Documentation required to be able to take the course. Other requirements, type of handgun, ammunition required, anything else that you require for that class, students get to see it. Okay. And then the last tab there is photos. You can put as many photos in as you want for every single one of your courses. They're really good for a student to be able to identify with. I see this course, I like the description, the requirements, it tells me what it's going to be about, all the topics, and here's photos. I can see what the classroom looks like. I can see what the range looks like. Yeah, this is for me. I go to the register now and register. Okay, that's your website. And we're going to come back to registration in a minute. It's your dashboard. When you now, once you've got your account created and you log into shooting classes, you go directly to your dashboard. So on your dashboard, you've got to get my finger on the right spot here. You've got a lot of different boxes here that you can do. First is, this is your class schedule. So every class that you've scheduled, they show up here for every month. Student, you can see what's going on there. But you've got all these other tabs here. Courses. This is where you create and edit all your courses. I got to get here to where I can see for a second. I didn't put my glasses. Locations where the courses are, set it up. The teachers, I'll walk through these individually because I can't read that from here. My eyes are not that good. So the first tab going across the top that I'll show you is the actual help center here. So when you click on the help center, it has a instructor's user manual, about 130 some pages long. There's 7 sections to the user manual. Every section is detailed out as to what's included in that section. You click on it, you go directly to it. Full details, graphics, everything to show you from getting started, registering, all the way through day-to-day activities and day after. It's all on there in the marketing section. So the next tab over is account. That's where you manage, get your information in to set things up. So you're going to set up and put in your bio, your background, your photos, your frequently asked questions, all those things are just clicking on these tabs over here, they take it, input it, and it's literally like a follow the brick road. Copy and paste. So you've got your course descriptions and stuff on your laptop, copy it, paste it in. I've seen instructors go in literally within 1 hour's time, get set up and ready to go. So let's go back to the courses page. On the courses page, it's going to show you all your courses, the course name, what the types are for it. It's going to show you whether you show it or hide it on the website, because if you're not currently teaching it, you can actually hide it, so you don't have to come back later, add it all back in again. Photos, so you can now here click on this, add all the photos in that you want for that particular course. Schedule classes, edit it, cancel it, delete it, all those things are right there. You click on the create a course, it takes you to the form where just literally you just follow it, line item by line item, pop your information in, and you're good to go. So the next one across was add-ons. So you can also have as many add-ons as you want to make available with a class. So if you're doing firearms rental with ammunition, swag is a big thing, ball caps, t-shirts, things like that. You come in here and you create a master list of your add-ons. On each one of the courses description, now it's going to show that master list. And now you say, for this course, I want to make this add-on available. Here's the price I want to charge for it. I want to make this add-on available. Here's the price I want to charge. Student goes to register. They see the add-ons that are available. They click on it, and now, boom, it gets added to the registration, and they pay for it. Okay, next one over is settings. Settings is for, we also have our own class certificates. So if there is special information that you want to show on that certificate, say it's state required information to apply for a concealed carry weapons permit, you actually put that information in here, and then when you print out the certificate, it's going to show on the certificate. Okay, scheduling classes. So you're all set up, now you want to schedule your classes. You come in here and you've got start date, click on that, calendar opens up. Pick the date that the class is going to be. Next one over is end date. Same day, 2-day class, 3-day class, put in the end date there. Next one over is the location. So if you've got multiple locations you teach at, it now becomes a drop down and you pick the location that you're going to do that class at. Going on across, you just basically fill out the information. Down below that it says schedule additional classes. So I popped in here two more classes. So when you click on add, then it automatically adds those classes in for you. If you want to schedule a full year's classes, boom, you just add in the number you want. The other that I did so was frequency. Do you want to schedule that class every day, every week, every other week, every 4 weeks? How often do you want to do the class? Pick it. And now it schedules all those classes for you. Once you select it, now it shows up on your website for students to be able to see and register for. And it shows up on your calendar on your dashboard. Okay, this is where you add in the locations. So simply just put in the information. Here's the range I teach at, here's the location, here's the address. It all happens automatically. Employees, so if you've got somebody that helps you teach classes, put their information in here, and now they will show up on your About page. And they've got edit employee, so you can come in here, you can put in a picture, you can put in a brief bio for that instructor. Discounts, so you can do promo code discounts, you can also do automated background discounts. If you always give law enforcement, first responders, there's like 5 different topics there. If you always give them a discount, you can set it up so that here's the discount they get automatically. Promo code discounts, it's going to show you, here's all the discounts that you've created. First one here, I've got to call it alumni. So let's say you give repeat students a $10 discount, 10% off discount. Basically, you set it up and you do it. When do I want this to expire? If it's something like that, you set it up for maybe a year or two out. Or if you've got a class coming up in, say, a week or two, the class is not full yet, you do a quick promo code and you set it up on social media. Use this code and now get a discount for this class. That one you would set the end date for the class date itself. Reports. You have a registration log. Registration log shows every student that's registered, is full detailed information on that student. And I gotta get over here to be able to see this with my glasses, but it's gonna show you, and I still can't see it, but it gives you full details, the amount they paid, discounts, whether they attended or not. All that stuff it just happens automatically. Instructor earnings report. So every class that you teach, it generates a report for that, a financial report. So it's going to show the class, the date, who the instructor was, how many students were in the class, if any students were canceled out of the class, the class fee, total add-ons, any refunds that were given, all the details down to a net revenue for that class. Your expenses, any expenses you have, you get shown in there. So go for that class. Every class within a month sums up to a monthly total, and then you get a year-to-date summary. So it serves two good purposes. One, take a look at it every once in a while and just see, how am I doing? Is my business where I want it to be? At the end of the year, you've got a nice report that you can export, print out, give to your accountant to say, here it is. So, good time saver. Messaging. So again, you've got all those places where you can contact the instructor, placed on a wait list. All that gets logged in. So you can come back and you can see it comes up as the last 90 days, and then you can see all in total. Because some of these guys get a lot of messages in there. You can filter it and you can export it to an Excel file. Okay, so that's pretty much the platform. That is the highlights of the features that you're most likely to be using. So getting started, you're going to go back to the website, shootingclasses.com, and you're going to go to the second tab over, which is for firearms instructors. You're going to click that. It's going to take you to the firearms instructors registration, and it's got a form there to fill out. Basic information, your business name, your name, gender, date of birth, email, phone number, address, years instructed, background, courses taught, get that in there, add your payment method, create the courses that you teach, schedule classes, and basically at that point in time, you're now set up, you are ready to go. So, day-to-day activities. Now that you're up and you're running, students can register. A student sees your class and they go to register. Hopefully it's through your QR code or URL, and they go directly to the course itself. But when they get to it, they're going to see register now. And they're going to see description, requirements, and photos. But they've already seen that at this point in time. They're getting ready to register. So they go to the student registration form. Student registration form has got all the things that they have to put in for you to be able to review and know what you're getting in the way of a student. And I'll show you that in just a minute. So when the student registers, they're going to get a pop-up right there. They're going to get a pop-up right there. It's going to say, thank you for registering. Your application has gone to the instructor for approval. If approved, you will get a text message and an email notifying you that you've been approved. Once they're approved, now they get that text message. It says, your application has been approved. They get an email. Boom, full description of the course, all the details, requirements, everything is in that email that they get back. So if they need a receipt for their course, it's going to turn it into a company or something, all the details are there for them to be able to use that. So, the instructor, as soon as that student registers, the instructor gets both a text message and an email. Text message says, go to your dashboard to review this student. So, they get the text message, they also get an email. That email has got all the students' information in there as well. And when they go to their dashboard, now they're going to see this yellow bar appear. And it's going to say,
one student application, 2, 4, 5, how many are pending applications? You click on that yellow bar, and now it takes you to pending applications page. It's going to show you the 2 that we had there. It's going to show you their name. It's going to show you all their information, the course they applied for, when it expires, all the details, who the instructor is, all that information. And then there's a view button. They click on that, and this is where you as an instructor get to see their application. And so, again, I got to try to see this. But you're going to see who the student was, their name, their email address, billing address, phone number, text messages, yes, accept text messages, all that information, the fee that they paid. Additions, add-ons, those add-ons get shown on the roster. It just gives full information for you to be able to say, yes, I want to accept this student. You click on accept, that student gets the text message and email that they've been approved. That student now gets added automatically to the registration log, gets added to the roster, gets added to the financial report. So all those things that I've talked about so far right now, the only function you've had to do was approve the student. Everything else just happens automatically. Okay. Going back to the next day-to-day activity is typically looking at your calendar. I've got a class coming up this weekend. I look at it and I can see here's the class, the course, here's the time, here's the instructor, and here's how many students are currently registered for that class. If you click on the class title, that takes you to the roster for the class. So you go to the roster. The roster is very functional. There's a lot of things you can do with the roster. First thing on the roster, I should have had my glasses here, is that well, you can't see it. See the roster at the top there, it says print roster. If you click on that button, it's going to print the first 4 columns of the roster. So you're going to see the student's name, their contact information. You're going to see any add-ons that they purchased with that class, so that you know, I've got to get these ready for the student, whether it's shirts or whatever. And you'll see emergency contact information. So something should happen in the classroom, something should happen on the range. You know exactly who you need to make that phone call to. Okay. The next tab over on the class roster is add students. So you can go in, different ways to manually add a student, different reasons to manually add a student. Let's say you get a group that contacts you, maybe it's a church group, business group, and they say, we've got 5 people that we want to take this class, and we want to pay one time, 1 credit card. You can then get each student's information, go back, and manually add that student in. Okay. The other thing that you can do on that is, if you decide you want to give somebody a complimentary seat in a class, on that manual, you come down here to the bottom, and here's compliment. So if you check that box with their information, now the fee changes to 0. They get an email saying you've received a complimentary seat in this class. Everybody that you add in manually gets that email letting them know that they're in this class with all the details and everything. Okay. Next button over is contact students. So this allows you to, at any point in time, send an email out to all the registered students in a class. It could be 3 months after a class is over with. You could go back to the roster and click on contact students and send an email out to all those students saying, hey, we've got another class coming up that we think you might be interested in. Here's the details, here's the link to get there. Good for communications. Okay, edit a class. So there's several different things you can do here on the edit a class. First thing is make this class a free class. If you're doing like children's classes and you want us to do a free class for kids, you can check that box, and now when they go to register, it's going to say free class. It literally bypasses everything. Below that is expenses. So here's where you come down and add in your expenses for the class. Range fees, ammunition, targets. Those now reflect over to the financial report as expenses for the class. And the other thing that you can do here is that group that said, hey, we want to do a group class, you can make it a private password protected class. Group for such and such a password for such and such a group. Give it a password, give it to the person that's organizing that class, and they will give that to all the people they want to register. When they go to register, they're going to say it requires a password to register. That allows you as an instructor and whoever's organizing it to know that nobody's going to come along and register for that class that should not be in that class. Sometimes you have to cancel a class. This does happen. But if you need to cancel a class, now you click on the cancel button, and you're going to get a pop-up saying, are you sure you want to cancel this class? Every student, excuse me, will get an email letting them know that the class is canceled. So in that email, it's going to have this line here that says, look for another message from the instructor as a follow-up. You're going to go back up to the contact students, and now you're going to send out an email to them. This is why the class is being canceled, it's being rescheduled, you're getting a refund, whatever it's going to be, put that information in there. Okay, certificates. Again, you have the option to print out certificates if you want to use ours. If you have to use a state certified or your own, that's fine, but we do make a certificate available to you. You have the option to print it out, or you can actually email it. We started the emailing because we're getting more and more instructors who are doing online classes. Online class, you need to email the certificate out. Okay, rescheduling a student. This happens from time to time too. Student calls you up and says, hey, I can't make it to the class this weekend. Can I reschedule to another class? You go back to the student on the roster and you click on by their name, reschedule. Opens up reschedule, it shows you all the next available dates. You get a date you agree upon with the student. Boom, you click on reschedule. That student gets an email right then that says you've been rescheduled from this class and this date now to this class and this date. Registration log gets updated, they get moved to the new roster, financial report gets updated, all that stuff happens automatically. The next one over is to cancel the student. So if you need to cancel the student's moving out of the country, whatever, click on cancel, it takes you to the edit the student's registration. It shows you, here's the fee they paid, any discounts they were given, any add-ons they purchased, total amount. So come over here, you click on cancel. If you're giving them a refund, some instructors give refunds, some don't. But if you're giving a refund, put the dollar amount in here. That now translates over to a financial report to show that yes, you refunded the student this dollar value. And the next one down is the email that's going to go out to the student, and it's going to say, you've been canceled, here's the reason why, and if you're getting a refund, here's how you're going to get the refund. And there's one more box that if you want to make personal notes to yourself that you don't want going out, that you want stored, you put that in here. Okay. The last day-to-day activity, there's really not that much, is the day of the class where you had reschedule and cancel. Now it changes, and it changes to attendance or no-show gets added in. You get another text message from 24 hours after the class reminding you to go back and check the attendance. You go through, you say, yep, this student attended, this student attended, this student attended, oops, this one wasn't there, they were a no-show. You click on the no-show. What it will do then is generate another email automatically that goes out to that student to say, hey, we missed you in this class. You talk to the student says, yeah, something happened, but I missed it. Can I reschedule? Do I need to cancel? When you go back to that student, that button now changes attended to no-show or reset. You click on reset, now it goes back to reschedule, cancel, and you do what you need to do. Okay, so that really covers the major highlights of the platform.
So now I'm going to talk about reaching. Great, they go pretty good. Reaching and registering students. So if you look at section 7 in the instructor user manual, it's got a full section on cultivating students. But this is kind of the highlights. You use different means to reach students. You know, you have flyers, business cards, you use Facebook, Instagram, you do other types of advertising. You may have your own website. And we've got a lot of instructors who have their own website and interfaces very well with this. They literally, where it says courses, classes, they put the link in to take them directly to the website. Shooting classes, shooting, and students get registered. Or I've seen a lot of instructors who will just drop their website and say, shooting classes gives me a much better website than I have, so therefore I'll drop it and I'll just use shooting classes. So, but the idea is I see an awful lot of posts that instructors do, and they do a very nice job of creating the right message, and it stops right there. It doesn't tell the student what to do, where to go, or get them there, and that's where we come in. You want to have a call to action at the bottom of that that says, see classes, see this, register now, and then you want the vehicle to take them there. That's the QR code, that's the URL, so they simply click and go where you want them to go. And these are just some examples of what instructors do for their posts. You know, using QR codes, using URLs. But in addition to that, we also do quite a bit to help students get to it. Like I said, we have thousands of students that come to shooting classes every single month. So we invest monthly in search engine optimization. We advertise on radio shows, and when we see instructors post, we'll actually go in and we will like and share those posts to help spread the word. Okay, so fee structure. Monthly subscription fee is $19 a month, and you get a 90-day free trial. The monthly subscription covers your personal multi-page website, our search engine optimization, the marketing we do, and if you opt in early at any point in time, even just one day before the end of the 90 days, that $19 gets reduced down to $15. Our administrative management fee, if that class, that course is $100 or less, we only charge $5 for our administrative management. If it's greater than, and I don't care if it's $1,000, we only charge $10 for that. And then there's the Stripe fee. Stripe's fee is 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. So I've got an example there, but I got the cue that my time's running out, so I'm gonna keep moving on here real quick. So for you guys, we've got handouts over here. The handout covers an awful lot of what we talked about. It has an insert in here. The insert is front and back page. It shows all the features of shootingclasses.com. And then we've got another insert, and that insert says, when you register, was there referral? When you put referral in there, put in NCCCIA. That tells me that you're coming through the NCCCIA, and we will automatically drop that $19 fee down to $15 for you. So the other thing that we're going to do is, I've got a little fishbowl over there. Drop your business card in there. We're going to draw 2 names. Those 2 names are going to get 1 year of no subscription fees. Okay, and we'll draw those probably during the lunch period and let you know who got those. If you don't have a business card, there's a little insert over there that you can put in your contact information, fold it over to the bottom, the size of a business card, drop it in the fishbowl, we'll draw the name out. So, questions? Sure, go ahead.
If you mentioned it, I missed it, but does your website, when the date for the class has expired, does it take away the registration link, or can we set it up?
No, once it's expired, then it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Is there a way for us to set it up, say we don't want any new registrations 3 days prior to the class that we
Sure,
can?
yeah. There is a registration cutoff. You can cut off, it defaults to same day, but you can cut it off 1 day, 2 days, 3, 4, it's up to 7 days prior to the class. You know, I see instructors that do like force on force, they're using simunitions and stuff, and they want to cut it off so that they can get prepared for it.
Right.
So yes, you do have that option.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Very quick question. The certificate that's generated,
Yep.
is it an additional certificate or does it take the place of the state certificate?
Well, it's up to you. If obviously, if your state certificate is mandated, then you're gonna do the state certificate the way you currently do it today. But if it's not mandated and you don't have your own certificate and you wanna use ours, then it's just a matter of saying print certificate. And it'll
North
generate
Carolina has
one
a
for
state
everyone in the
mandated
class.
certificate.
Right.
Yeah, they're serialized.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
North Carolina has a mandated certificate that are serialized, and you
Yeah.
have to purchase those
A
from
lot of
the
states
state.
do, yeah. But that's just for that one course.
Right.
So if you're doing other courses, then you may say, yep, I'll use Carolina where I have to, but I'll use mine where I want to, or I'll use shooting classes where I want to. The nice thing is for, and we're seeing more and more online classes. In fact, we're getting ready to set up for 8 different categories of online classes. You can't hand out a certificate to an online class, so that's where email comes in really handy. And what it'll do is it'll allow you to go in and it'll, like the auto pen, it'll put your signature in there. Okay, my time is up. So I'm gonna be here till probably pretty close to 2 o'clock. So any questions you have, I'm here. We can talk about it. If need be, I can actually pop up the actual website and show you things. But I hope you like what you see. It's great automation to allow you to be able to focus on teaching and not do the details. So hopefully you like what you see. You'll get registered on shooting classes. And I always tell people our service and support is equally as good as what the platform is. I'm a phone call away, I'm a text message away, I'm an email away. I'm going to get right back to you.
Great deal.
Your name again?